Russian forces are rapidly advancing toward Ukrainian positions with armored vehicles. Engine roars, the clatter of tracks. The threat grows closer every second. Ukrainian soldiers wait in their positions, eyes fixed on drone screens. Let the target come closer. Everything is ready. This convoy includes 2 tanks, an APC, and an MTLB loaded with ammunition. The Russian tanks open fire from a distance, their cannons unleashing shells one by one. One of the tanks deploys a smokescreen, trying to disappear. But Ukrainian drones see everything from above. Radios crackle with chatter. The enemy is advancing, the distance is closing. And then the moment comes. The Russian convoy is now very close. The Ukrainian unit hits the button. The first Javelin missile is launched. It tears through the sky and hits its mark. The tank is struck, the convoy grinds to a halt. The crew panic and scramble out of the vehicle, running toward the MTLB. But Ukrainian infantry are already preparing the second Javelin. Another shot, a direct hit. A massive explosion. In the background, a Ukrainian tank takes position. Its barrel rises, long-range fire begins. The rest of the Russian convoy is now in its sights. The battle isn't over. Ukrainian drones take off. One drone drops a bomb directly on the APC. An explosion. An FPV drone dives straight into a tank. The APC turns into a fireball. The ammunition inside detonates in a chain reaction. The sky fills with fire and smoke. The remaining vehicles are next. A UAV drops an explosive on top of a fuel truck. The blast triggers the smoke launcher. This Russian convoy is now completely destroyed. But it's not over yet. Here comes another Russian convoy, bigger with heavier armor. Engines growl, tracks rip through the earth. As soon as Ukrainian troops spot them, the artillery batteries open up. Explosions shake the ground, clouds of dust rise, camera footage trembles. The Ukrainians were waiting for this attack. Tanks open fire from different angles. The first vehicles in the convoy catch fire. Six vehicles remain, 2 are tanks. Ukrainian infantry take positions with their javelins. The first shot, a perfect hit. Personnel carrier disappears. Successive missile strikes destroy 2 more Russian tanks. The blasts shake the ground. Despite heavy losses, the Russians push even closer instead of retreating. Armored vehicles reach the positions. Infantry dismount. Now close-quarters combat begins. As the armored vehicles pull back, they fire toward the trenches. Ukrainian soldiers return fire from their cover. Tension peaks. Russian infantry push into the positions. They have the numbers.
Граната! Чисто! Граната!
Ukrainian soldiers wait calmly for the order. And then it comes. Wait. Then release the FPVs. Suddenly the sky fills up. FPV drones swarm the Russian infantry. Explosions erupt one after another. There's no choice but to retreat. But the Russians don't give up. Reinforcements arrive and a new assault begins. Ukrainian artillery kicks in once more. Explosions tear up the ground. Russian infantry reach the trenches and dig in. It's a tough moment for Ukraine. But the drone operators remain calm. They lock onto the target. Russian troops are clustered together. Another FPV. The armored vehicles pull back rapidly. The remaining Russian infantry hunker down in shelters. Advancing is impossible. Ukrainian troops pull back smartly. When the trenches are abandoned, Russian infantry are left exposed. Just then, artillery fire begins. Russian infantry are pinned down in their dugouts. The explosions don't stop. Ukrainian troops return. Some Russian soldiers are now desperate. They drop their weapons and surrender. But the operation isn't over yet. A Russian tank trying to escape is spotted by reconnaissance drones. The operator locks onto the target. The first strike, a hit. Smoke rises from the tank, then fades. The drone dives in for a second strike. Another hit. This time the tank bursts into flames. Fire erupts, then a massive explosion. Ukrainian forces are first deploying their tanks to clear out the remaining Russian infantry in the area. The tanks act as spearhead units, tasked with breaking enemy resistance and weakening defensive lines. Russian soldiers are positioned in the wooded and rugged terrain of the region. This area is highly suitable for both concealment and launching sudden attacks. However, Ukrainian reconnaissance teams detect these positions in advance using drones. Ukrainian tanks take up positions at a safe distance and begin long-range artillery fire. Successive accurate strikes target Russian trenches and fortified positions. The intensity of the explosions completely disrupts the defensive setup in the area. The tanks' heavy bombardment significantly scatters the Russian positions. This paves the way for breaking enemy resistance and prepares the ground for the infantry to advance. Following the shelling, Ukrainian forces then deploy their infantry. Troops transported in armored vehicles cautiously approach the area hit by the tanks. The tanks cease fire to avoid harming their own infantry. From this point on, the operation is fully in the hands of the Ukrainian ground troops. As soon as the Ukrainian soldiers reach the area, they begin the clearing operation. Trenches, shelters, and wooded areas are checked one by one.
Trench! Frag the trench to there!
The remaining Russian soldiers, few in number, attempt to resist. They try to respond with grenades and small arms fire.
Weapon, fight!
Due to the challenging terrain, the fighting continues for a while. In these short but intense clashes, Ukrainian troops completely clear the enemy positions.
No!
By the end of the operation, all Russian infantry units stationed in the area are neutralized. The region comes under Ukrainian control, a security perimeter is established, and a new defensive line is set up. After weeks of intense clashes, Ukrainian forces have once again managed to repel Russia's successive convoy attacks. Enemy tanks and armored vehicles were deployed one after another in an attempt to break through the front line. However, the Ukrainian defense anticipated every move, prepared accordingly, and did not allow its resistance to be broken. Particularly along the eastern front line, around Donetsk and Luhansk, the activity continues. These areas have been witnessing artillery strikes and drone attacks for months. Russian troops are pulling back into forested areas and small settlements to gain an advantage in narrowing zones. Yet every retreating convoy is detected by Ukraine's vigilant reconnaissance drones. Day and night UAV flights reveal even the hidden elements. Most of the time, retreating Russian soldiers either lose vehicle support or break their chain of command, leaving behind isolated groups. Ukrainian units swiftly neutralize these groups. Russian elements positioned in forests, ruined villages, and makeshift shelters are hunted down one by one. In this way, not only is the region's security ensured, but future attack attempts are also prevented. In the settlements behind the front line, civilians continue to support the soldiers. Supply lines, volunteer groups, local defense units, all stand together for one purpose: to defend their own land. For Ukraine, this struggle is not just a war, it is also a guarantee of existence, independence, and freedom. Today, the silenced engines on the front line, the destroyed tanks, and the repelled armored units give the Ukrainian people renewed hope. Every convoy destroyed, every position cleared, once again thwarts the occupiers' plans.